Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Roles can be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So we do look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks and shadows to see how they play out as karmic themes, help you understand why everything's playing out the way that it is, right? You're a mirror of whom what comes into your life. So a lot of times we attract situations and experiences that are hurtful. And we don't really know why. And we get stuck in the story. And we get stuck in the story because those karmic cycles tend to repeat over and over and over and over again, which makes us really feel like there's something wrong with us or that we can't have. But really, there's no separation from you and your creator because your creator is inside of you as spirit, right? So that gives you spiritual sovereignty to create the life that you want. So we're all made up of this divine energy of love. But the problem is, we're born into societies and families and experience these traumatic experiences. So my readings aren't obviously just about what your person did do and what they're going to do. We look at every aspect. We look at, yes, what they did, what you need though, and then what they did, and what the whole spiritual significance was for you, because a lot of times you don't wind up with that person. And it's like, it doesn't mean that they don't have feelings for you, but if you're dealing with someone that has a lot of ego, well, it doesn't matter if they like you, they're not going to treat you well. And so the relationship, if you have any self-respect or love yourself, it would be essentially really difficult to maintain. So but understand, when you change yourself, you automatically change the dynamic of the relationship. And if a relationship really, there really is love there, well, you're forcing that person to elevate, whether they want to or not. That doesn't mean that you have to be with them. But when you change, if there's many different realities that play out at one time and you keep reliving the same reality, again, it's you're contributing. Just logically makes sense, right? So we always start off with just looking at your wounds first. What do you need to know for the next week, 2 weeks, month? What is the focal point? I joined dancing with a friend. I don't know, I just told you that, but it's like I don't dance. It's like white girl has no rhythm. Like literally, I have no rhythm at all. So this is going to be really fun. And I feel like it's important to have fun and to be grounded, to try to be grounded, right? So that's the energies that I'm trying to pull in for myself. Let's see what the energies are for you. And Spirit saying, now I'm going to read all the cards separate, and then we'll again read it together. Have compassion towards others who may see the world through a different lens of experience. Invite No, this is strive to do your best and don't worry about the things beyond your control. I'm going to put that there. And then it's if someone doesn't respect you, it's okay to walk away. You are the boss of your life. You can hire, fire, and promote accordingly. Partnership, study, career, and games. So obviously, I feel like you're either going to get a new job or there is something that is going to require you, whether you go back to school, take a class, some sort of further education, that study will be required for this career change. And so that can be also overstimulating. And it's overstimulating because it calls you to change. Now, you may be someone that is spiritual and you're moving or was more religious and becoming more spiritual. You may be someone that just does things a different way. Just it's not a wrong way, but a lot of times we either learn that we're intuitive and learn by doing, and other people learn by studying, go to class. And so it's kind of a little bit out of your realm because, again, it's going to require study, but it's going to help to ground you. and that's why you're being forced to do it. And so there's people in your life that are just jealous of you. It's just what it is. And that it might be even included in the person that you're connected to. We will see whether they are in that focus. There's just too many people here that I can't. And it could be family members, it could be like random friends, it could be coworkers. So they like to play games in the fact of emotionally stirring up you to make you question who you are. And so these people are really here to help push you into a better version of yourself by realizing that you don't need to your emotional fulfillment towards these people who I really think that they were friends, but more like frenemies a little bit. There might be one person that was like a frenemy, someone that's jealous of you, which I feel like they try to like push you off of your pedestal a little bit. And that's by creating a narrative, by trying to make you look a certain way. So spirit's just saying, like, you're the boss of your life. You don't need to be nice to people. Being nice also when a person like wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire is like is senseless. So I feel like you don't have to be like play games, but it's about being a little bit more cold, being a little bit more reserved, being a little bit lot like shutting your emotions down. Because again, it's person can only try to affect you by disrespecting you. So the whole point is they try to push you out of your energy, trying to make you dim your light a little bit, and that's why you're being asked. And the reason why is because, hey, if you're being asked to ground and you're learning something new, do you really want people that are emotionally triggering you? You know, because it takes you off your focus, it takes you off your game. And so again, I feel like there's also just some people around you that maybe you do things differently than they do. So it's like that you may say, I have compassion for them, they don't have compassion for me. And so spirit's saying, well, then have compassion for them the way, because they don't see things the way that you do. And that doesn't mean that they won't eventually, but people are creatures of habit. And when you change the narrative, well, it forces people to look at themselves. And, the best thing to do is to stay elevated, to like hang out with different friends, still do things. Don't isolate. Don't do that is what spirit's saying. And it's because the next few weeks are going to be important. I mean, again, you need to be on your game, like you're moving into something. This is good for you. All right, so let's look at the wounds. Conditional love wounds. Look at that. Conditional love wounds, meaning like you only love me when and so I feel like some of these friends kind of like, if you play this role, you have to play a role to be like in this, like to be friends. And that might be that, hey, you need to dumb me down. And it's like, and you've come to a place where you're like, I'm not doing that. I'm not apologizing to you. I'm not going to give you stuff. I'm not going to, like, again, like you have to kind of sacrifice. And this is disconnect between spiritual and social. So this might be like, hey, I'm a very spiritual person. I'm a very sensitive person. I feel like I don't connect with people because of that. There's a deepness. And so spirit's saying more grounding, doing things, because when you have a common interest and you do things, hey, you have something to talk about, and it doesn't go so deep. It's because of the mother wound. I feel like you had a mother that was kind of a little bit like a bully, shows up a deep longing for nurturing, approval of unconditional love that may have been absent and or inconsistent, and it manifests as people pleasing. Didn't I say that's what that person's trying to do? They're trying to knock you off your pedestal and say, you need to come to me. You need to be subservient to me. Don't do it, because what they'll do is they'll try and ruin you. That's someone, if you're a humble person and they're trying to humble you even more, that's a person that you got to stay away from right here. And you're being warned about it. It's like, let that person go. Um, because again, the mother wound is about rejection, difficulty trusting and caring for yourself. And so that's the problem with the mother wound. Don't be afraid to be seen as who you are. And emotionally, if you're going to let this person stress you out, you're going to get burnout. And that makes it essentially impossible to study or to learn anything new. So Spirit's saying is like, this is what you need to do for your money, for your career, for something that you're already good at, something that is already coming to you. It's a gift. But you have people that tend to be jealous. So you might do something that's a little unconventional, for work also, and so you get a lot of attention. So whatever it is, it's triggering like that somebody. But it doesn't matter, because no one can stop you. Only you can stop you by letting someone emotionally throw you off balance. So Spirit's saying the important thing to do, we know, is to ground. And that means go out and do things. um, Now let's just look and see where your person is. And because unfortunately, if we have wounds, a mother wound, it will show up in a relationship. Um, of who we attract until we integrate that spiritual lesson. Let's see where they are. I'm filled with regret. I wish I could turn back the clock and do things over again. Will you give me a second chance? Well, that was like pretty pretty straightforward. Like, now, um, let's see what, on a spiritual level, what happened, or like go deeper into the relationship to give us some insight. They project their own fears and limitations onto you. And so this relationship has actually made this person go inside of themselves to see that that it wasn't you, it was them. So I feel like they might have been, you might have had a conversation with this person and they got triggered by something that you said, and they were like, "Oh, it's your fault." But now, they've had time and they're like, "Oh, it was really my fault," you know? And so they can't help it. Like, that projection is just wounding. And I feel like, again, mother wound will do that. Like, if a mother didn't have that, I'm looking for a way out of this situation so I can be free. So they might have been in a relationship when they met you. It might have said that they weren't in a relationship, but they're not happy all of a sudden now, or they could have actually been free and chose someone else. Let's see. Our union needs clearing. Repeat 11 times slowly. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. I'm grateful for you. This was a divine connection, and this person feels that your energy has completely changed, that you're like, fuck off. It's like, I don't even want to be your friend. It's like, that's what I see here. And what that is like, it's made this person like have to look at their behavior that they didn't want to do, and then look at their life. I feel like they might have been in a relationship that wasn't really a relationship. It was more like a sham. Words have hurt me in the past, and that's why I feel fear talking to you. So this person didn't communicate anything. They didn't say anything. They just went silent. So they projected and then they went silent. Didn't say anything. And that's why I feel like, and they waited and they waited and they wasted time and they wasted time, hoping that I feel like that you would come back to them, but they wouldn't have to do any work. You know what I'm saying? I want to know everything about you, but I hold myself back. I'm afraid I'll get in too deep. So they have intimacy issues. They have trust issues. They don't communicate. So without even looking at the wounds, we can see the wounds. right? So whenever we're in a relationship with someone that doesn't know how to communicate, give them a lot less, because people know how to communicate, but they have to be uncomfortable. And if there's passion in the beginning of the relationship, that's the incentive. Once you give in to a person that doesn't know how to communicate, where you have that intimacy, forget it. You're never going to get it. The whole thing is that that drive, that passion. Now you might say, well, that person will walk away. Then they need to walk away and be in a low vibe relationship with a lot of other people, which is what they might have actually done too and wound up being getting stuck with somebody, you know, that they didn't want to be with. And now they're like, ah, it's like, how am I going to get out of this one? Either way, it's like they played games to try to get you to, give in. We are one. Don't let fear get in the way of this truth. So this person really feels like, hey, we have this connection, but I feel like it's a done deal. So it's like they want to convince themselves almost like, hey, we still have this connection. It can still work. It can still work. But you're like, no. It's like it now you didn't say no to them, but there's this inner knowing. When again, of course it's claircognizance. It's like it's the Holy Spirit telling you inside of you, no. You can feel it, like and that's what this person fears. I'm conflicted about whether I have what it takes to be your partner, and that's really what it is. Okay? That's really what it is. This person is a low self-esteem and they feel controlled by the person that they're with, as they either stayed in a relationship or wound up with somebody that's very controlling, that doesn't trust them, with good reason. And so they don't like it. So it's pushing them to grow, but their way of pushing them to control was then to think about how they treated you. I don't feel like this person like would have even thought about you if they were like happy, in that connection. They're not happy because that person's holding them accountable. Like, hey, listen, if you promised me a rose garden, I'm expecting you to get out there in your fucking overalls and fucking plant me some fucking roses, and this person, like, I feel like has a little bit of a problem with it. They weren't supposed to be for forever. The supply wasn't supposed to be forever. They were supposed to be temporary. And now this person is like, ugh, I'm trying to figure out this connection. I've never experienced anything like it before. Yeah, that's because it was a real connection. It was a blessing. And that's what they're realizing. It's like, because, hey, you removed yourself. These feelings overwhelm me and I become afraid, and they run from it, and they project their patterns continually onto you, and you may to them too. And then it's very difficult to see what's real and what's not. So what you see here is a past life karmic connection, because this person doesn't know how to talk. They don't know how to ask for anything. They don't know how to communicate. They try to manipulate everything. And now their little game backfired on them pretty much. And they're seeing, well, I projected a lot, but you also projected, because I feel like this person continually tried to trigger, they did a lot of things to try to, again, get you to knock you off your game. So you're pissing off a friend, or a friend of me, I should say, not a friend. And you're pissing off like this person. That's why they held out, and that's why they acted like it was a game. But meanwhile, you're not doing anything. You're just getting projected on. And that's because you're the Heoki, where a Heoki is someone that's they're the sacred clown, they call them. And it's a sacred one that always holds up the mirror to other people. And that happens when you're really either clear, like you're not really doing anything. It's like, so you make people look at themselves. And that's what you did essentially with this person. It's like, but also they're uncomfortable. If they were happy, they wouldn't have looked at it. So it's like the universe like created this dynamic where this person's really uncomfortable. They don't like it. They're at a low vibe. So of course, yes, they watch you on social media, and the internet is their way of staying close. And they're like a stalker. Remember, they can't have a conversation. And someone that projects everything, that just says there's a whole lot of inner child wounds there. Doesn't mean the person doesn't have feelings. That's what I was saying. But being in a relationship with this person would definitely trigger you and definitely make you feel insecure because they don't know how to do it. Yeah, see, again, my inner child was wounded when my parents couldn't respond to me the way that I needed them to. And that continues to play out over and over and over and over again, where this person looks for that person to rescue them. And what happens is that they wound up with someone that rescued them. They with someone that was easier, someone that was going to give in, someone that was going to, but you know what? There was a price to pay, because that person was like, oh, yes, whatever you want. Okay, yeah, like, okay, darling, whatever. And they were getting shitted on. And now that that person knows that they have them hook, line, and sinker, they're like, well, I'm expecting you to go out there and plant my rose garden. And I'm expecting you to do this. And I'm expecting you to do that. I'm expecting you to do this. And this person the whole time is like seeing that you're not coming back now. But they thought that they were going to manipulate this. They didn't have a care in the world when they were doing it. And that's why they're in the situation that they're in. Let's see if they're going to have the nerve to come back and say anything eventually. Because, a person like this, they will get out of that situation. They will not. They will make that supplies life a living hell and find somebody else. I'm just curious, will this person have the audacity to come back and say anything? Inquiring minds want to know. I can see myself with you in the future. Of course, that's the whole thing. Like, again, fantasy. Nothing's grounded. Please be patient with me. They treated you bad, but they want you to be patient with them. You see already, like, I'm going to ask you to dumb me down a little bit because I'm coming in handicapped. Because I was just in a war. Because I had to get out of the supplies place. Again, looking for a savior. Looking for a mommy. Looking for a mommy or daddy. Looking for somebody. I feel terrible for hurting you. Yeah, because you're holding them accountable. So they are eventually going to make their way back to you. Just want you to know that. Because this person can see themselves with you. Now, will they contact you directly or indirectly? Not that this is important. Spirit says it's not really important, but like I said, inquiring minds want to know. And then we will look and see again why you attracted this person into your life, which is what Spirit says is really important. And it's like your healing is more important than this person. Like you should have learned the lesson. But I just want to know, like, whether this person will have the balls enough to pick up the phone or whether they will, again, do anything. Yeah, they're breaking free from that situation, okay? Because they're not going to be happy. They're like, again, they're already manipulating. Yeah, like this person feels like, again, you're their all of a sudden person. Within a few days. Now, within a few days, a few weeks, but they're coming. And I felt that. I was like, this person's going to break out of their situation and they're going to come straight for you. And, they're going to call. What are they going to do? Yes, they're going to call. So they're going to either call or text you some sort of thing to reach out to you. You don't have to answer. But I know most likely this will not be the first approach. If this person's breaking free from a situation, they're not going to just take a no for an answer. So you have a few weeks to prepare, but the answer should be no, because this person's probably going to come back a little desperate. Yeah, like they're going to be a little bit desperate, because there's also like this sense of like it's almost like they're looking at you now, like where they put you on like this pedestal, this perfect person, and they're saying, oh, but this relationship is too good to be true, so that's why I pull away. It's like this person emotionally can't be in a relationship like this because it's too deep for them. It would require them to do the healing. It's like this brought them to a place of seeing how they treated you and that they're really sorry because now you're not in their life and they're stuck where they're not happy, but they haven't taken the time to get to know you. They haven't nurtured the connection. They haven't created the intimacy or fixed the trust issue either. So they're delulu because it's like, how are you supposed to feel confident in that? The spirit says you better not feel confident in that because you'll wind up right into a people pleasing situation with this person because it's all about what they perceive you are, and that's in fantasy land. You're not even that person. You're like, that's not who we are. Guess what? In fantasy land, my husband would have been cooking me dinner every night and would have had a perfect body, and he certainly did not have a perfect body by the time that he got fat. And he was still cute, but he was fat. I mean, but he would have a perfect body, and he would be like doing everything, would be able to read my mind. Be like, do you want Italian food tonight? Yes. How did you know? Here, I bought you this jewelry. That, how did you know? That's the type of perfect that my I would want my husband to be, and that's this person. That's like a narcissist. It's again that person doesn't exist. Is again a person that's gonna tell my husband used to tell me no sometimes. Very rarely, but I mean, he didn't just agree with everything that I said all the time, and he didn't rip my head off either if I didn't agree with him or manipulate me or punish me the way that this person like that is, how they navigate now that it's being done to them. They don't like it very much. Now somebody's doing it to them. And the spirit says that, yeah, like you can, this person just wants to like take like wants to try and create that emotional balance with you. And it's like, ugh, but they have love blocks. And that's the issue. And it's like they don't want to go on that lone path. They just don't want to. And they had the epiphany of who you are now. So it's like, no, 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 kind of like that, where it's like, grow the fuck up. And it's like that's what it is. It's like a baby. It's like still looking for mommy. It's like, no, no, no. It's like, are you looking at what you did? Are you looking at how you treat people? No, they are not, is what Spirit's saying. And so that's why it wasn't really important to go down this rabbit hole, as Spirit said. Yes, we know that. But again, they'll come back and they'll be childish still. And what you'll feel is that it really won't be a serious relationship because they are not going to be able to take the reins. They're not strong within themselves. And you would have to mother them or continue to reassure them because they know that they're not really good enough for you, and they also like don't feel like this can it be real, that they're not deserving of it, and this and that. And a person only feels that they're not deserving of it when they're not a good person. I mean, the truth of the matter is, otherwise there's a sense of, I deserve it, I deserve to be loved. I mean, are they conscious about it? No, I think this person overcompensates, to create the illusion of whatever they want you to perceive, but that's not a real person. And so you'd be in there and it would be all about them because they haven't done the healing. So that's why Spirit said, wasn't really important, but we went down the rabbit hole anyway. And so the best that we can do really is say, well, why, what do you need to learn? I mean, obviously, because it's like, well, how now I'm pissed off because it's like they did all that and that. And so Spirit says, well, you're supposed to be pissed off. But it's not to ignore the pissed off, it's to transmute that pissed off energy, I mean, because it's really fear, but that fear over time makes you like angry, like, how dare you? And so spirit saying you have to channel that energy. And the only way that that's done is to understand what the inner child wounds are. Here they are. I'm like looking everywhere for my wound cards. And then to see what the actual wounds are that need to be integrated. Otherwise, you would feel like, I don't know why I connected to this person. Well, what is it that I need to learn? Because I don't want to repeat it. And understand it's not that you won't still attract people that have elements of this. The difference is it won't affect you. You wouldn't give it time. You change the dynamic of you, and that's the whole point. And Spirit says when we look, there was trauma, that's why. And part of that is also misunderstood and neglected. So not nurtured. Here we see truth and organized chaos. So when a child grows up and there is trauma, whether that's psychological, emotional, or physical, we don't know the difference. But the mind doesn't know the difference is what I'm saying. But here it says neglect. So like ignored, left out, not nurtured, not feeling safe. I mean, nurtured is that children need to feel nurtured. They need to feel loved. They need to feel accepted. So I feel like in a way, like your mom made you feel that way because I pulled mother wound, right? Like in the beginning of what you needed to heal. That was just a few of your wounds. Didn't want to bombard you, but we have to see again what other things are playing out due to the trauma. So that mother wound creates a lot of other wounds because that's the first connection that you have. That's the attachment style. And if you had a narcissistic mother, then, you have to master this energy. And it's all about boundaries. It's all about self-worth. It's all about loving yourself and being true to yourself. And then Spirit says, emotionally, like again, if you didn't get up, so emotionally difficult expressing or acknowledging your own feelings and feeling numb, frustrated, and winds up being to like, it's just unresolved emotional wounds. And so not feeling comfortable. And that happens if you showed your feelings to a parent and they dismissed it, or they were like, oh, it's not really that important, get over it. So it wasn't safe to be vulnerable. And we know that because you weren't nurtured. If anything, you were neglected. And when it came to that. So it's the attachment wound. It's again that there wasn't a healthy attachment to that parent. So it shows up as difficulty forming secure, trusting relationships. And that's what you saw in the beginning of the reading, where Spirit's saying, oh, that's playing out again. That karmic cycle is playing out again. We have to do something different. And we will figure out what to do after we look at these wounds. But I'll tell you one thing, it's to overcome any type of codependency because of the past neglect. That's really what it is. It's like that Spirit saying, but more specifically, we will definitely pull narcissistic abuse. I knew it. I was like that bad attachment style to your mom gave you like trauma, and that you didn't have a healthy attachment wound. So you attract people that either misunderstand you, misinterpret you, take your kindness for weakness, and tend to push you into a position of making you feel like that you have to be subservient to them, and you don't, is what Spirit's saying. It's like that's the illusion. People will always want you to live the narrative that they want you to live because it makes them look better. So Spirit's saying it's like it's time to transmute this. It's again part of the spiritual lesson is no, I will not be with this person. which Spirit says we saw why. And then the second part is, now I'm going to take all this pain from my childhood abuse, my mother wound, and then this relationship and any other relationship that I have ever had that with somebody thought that it was okay to treat me bad and to disrespect me. I'm going to turn the pain into power by first and foremost listening to the whispers of my own soul, guiding my actions and my values. Because number one, when you have haters around, you better make sure that you're walking like that walk, because people always want to point out things to make you look bad when they're jealous. So Spirit says if you listen to the whisper of your own soul, that means follow your soul's path. Put your energy towards things that are going to feed your soul. And that means things that are going to make you happy. And if you might not say, I don't have anything, then that's the problem, is Spirit saying. But go out and find them. It's a grounding issue. And that's what I said in the beginning of the reading, because the connection to mother is that it's like there's a lack of connection to the earth and of people in the earth because of that attachment style. So Spirit says you again heal that by going on your soul's call and giving and receiving of love. You form the right, intimate, trusting connections through your path, through why you're here, is Spirit saying. That's number one. Number two, say something. It's not okay that people treat you bad. They know that they treat you bad, but then if they're not going to say something, but be as wise as a serpent, but gentle as a dove. So if someone acts like an asshole, you're not going to say, why are you acting like an asshole? Say, is everything okay with you? You seem a little off today. Again, you say something that makes them look at themselves. It'll be like you slap them across the face. It's like where then they'll get emotional. See, they want you to get emotional, throw you off your game. Don't. Be as wise as a serpent. I see you. I see you coming. But gentle as a dove, like Jesus. I see you. Again, use your passion. Again, and that's whatever stirs your soul up. And that might be your job. It might be a hobby. It's going out and doing things. And again, if you don't have that passion, that's a problem, because that's what is going to give you balance. That's how you can birth a whole new life, is through that passion. Because when you're feeding it, God makes a way where there is no way just for you. The universe conspires to bring you everything that you need. You don't think that the universe sees what's going on here? The universe sees. I'll bring you different people. I'll bring you a different thing. But you have to be true to yourself, Spirit's saying. And make sure that your, again, values are, because you don't want people saying things that isn't true. Flow with grace. Go with the flow of life through your passion for life. That's how you can navigate through like this difficult time where it's like this person wants to come back, these friends are like losers and not really nice, or you have a frenemy in there and you thought that they were someone different. Spirit says flow with grace. No one can take what's yours, only you can allow it. Keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on the prize. Don't force anything. Time to demote people from your life. Time to do that. It's time to alchemize the energy, and that's you're turning the adversity into like power. It's like what? It's like you feel like everyone's against you. You feel like you can't. Again, Spirit says this is about you and me. God says, I'm inside of you, so I give you supernatural power to create whatever you want. The lack of connection to me is the lack of connection to your physical body and the lack of connection to your passion. You alchemize the negative energy when you're on your soul's path and you're saying, I'm really doing what I love. I'm finding myself. And that means you have to, if you didn't have a mother, like again, the mother wound is kind of like that. You have to reparent yourself and mother yourself, which is encourage yourself to try new things, things, to connect with different people, to do different things so you can stay balanced, because you don't have control over other people, but you sure as hell have control over yourself. And when you focus on the things that you're passionate about, it doesn't matter. What happens is that God winds up displaying your glory through those broken aspects of you. And again, at the same time, right in front of your enemies, right in front of people that did you wrong. This person did you wrong. They're trying to avoid the negative karmic consequence of staying with that karmic. They chose it. That's the bed that they chose to lie in. They can lie in it. This is about you being true to yourself. Spirit saying. And we end off with one more message, and that is, right, did I pull from everywhere that I was supposed to pull from? Yes. Okay, one more message just for you, and this is serenity. Through love, release, and inner work, peace. Have gentle view of life and welcome every step with confidence, and you remain brave in the face of fear and have the wisdom to let the universe do its work. Which again, Spirit's saying, don't emotionally get caught up in this. It's again, stay focused. Keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on the prize. Again, you turn all that emotion and channel it. And that means grounded and meet people. Don't let anyone rob your happiness, because people like to do it. Misery loves company. I'm going to leave that there. Stay true to you. Love you. Bye-bye. What's going on here? I hit something else. I'm really leaving now. Bye.